Dr. Tamas Horvath is here, the recipient of the Outstanding Scientific Achievement Award. Congratulations for your effort and really for all of your work. Talk to me about the research and the lecture that you are delivering here.
Thank you very much for having me. We are interested in hunger and how hunger generally governs all biological processes in our body. And we are specifically interested in how hunger is governed from the brain, from a very specific part of the brain, and how those neurons that control hunger have impact on behavior as well as peripheral tissue function.
And when you think about the behaviors and the growing number of people with obesity in this country, there has to be some way to control it.
So there are these neurons in the hypothalamus that supposedly able to control everything. However, obviously, as we gain weight and won't be able to properly adjust our behavior, these neurons become impaired. And what we're trying to understand how those circuits in the brain, what happens inside of these cells, and how they change in response to high-fat diet or diet-induced obesity.
And when you talk about obesity, obesity certainly leads to many other diseases, but as it relates to diabetes, there's also a relationship to different diseases.
Correct, and also in general, the notion that hunger would only control metabolism is not correct. Hunger has a major impact on most of our behaviors. So, for example, if you think about, in order for you to be properly eat, you need to be awake. So you need to connect these cells with those brain regions that control sleep and wake cycles. You also need to be able to make a decision, proper decision, how and when to eat food. So obviously, you need to have an impact by these neurons on brain regions that control decision making. And through this, we argue that these areas of the brain that mostly we associate with metabolic control will also have a major impact on other diseases, such as mental disorders, as well as Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease.
And that really impacts so many people.
Correct. And also we think that the peripheral tissues that bring many of these signals to the brain will be found to be playing major roles in the propagation of these disorders, which currently is not the state of the art in these fields.
And this is the kind of research that is affecting people day to day, but really has the potential to impact our longevity.
Absolutely. So we also postulate that hunger is a fundamental driver of longevity. And as long as we lose our interest in food or we lose appetite, we might be going downhill and shorten our lifespan. And we are pursuing these questions as well through the hypothalamus and how these neurons that control hunger may have a long-lasting impact on our health and lifespan.
So for attendees who are here and they listen to the research that you're doing and your lecture, what do you want them to gain from that and sort of go forward with?
The notion that these fundamental homeostatic functions such as hunger or satiety are not only limited to our day-to-day maintenance of weight or potentially leading to diabetes and obesity, but also they will have a major impact in the general health of our body and through the general health of the society. So these, while we think these are very primitive functions, they are really major drivers of our health.
But this concept of hunger and being able to perhaps limit what we are eating is something that clinicians need to be having a conversation with their patients about.
Yes, absolutely. And I do believe that really the most important physicians in our lives these days are endocrinologists and internists who will need to understand the various aspects of these complex physiology and be able to educatedly advise patients how best to adjust their lives so that they have a good and long lifespan.
Dr. Horvath, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.